K9s realized I forgot to do the actual questions that were attached to that handout. So question number 1 says determine the dimensions of a square-based prism container with the volume of 3,200 centimeters cubed and that has minimum heat loss. And you need to round those dimensions to the nearest tenth of a meter. So remember that whenever we're talking about a tenth of a meter, that is 1 decimal. Okay, when they talk about tenth and hundredth and thousandth, it gives it away. Think about how many zeros are in 10, 100, and 1,000, and that's how many decimals you should have. So this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. When hot food is placed in a container, it loses heat through the sides, top, and bottom. So to keep heat loss to a minimum, the surface area should be minimized. So it's just another way of asking you to minimize the surface area here. So when they say minimum heat loss, they're asking for minimum surface area. So if we go ahead and do that question, then we know from our previous work that, and so let's take a quick look at that, that to find the dimensions of a square-based prism, with a minimum surface area, you use the formula V equals S cubed or V equals B cubed, where S is the side length of the base. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we can write V equals, I'm just going to write B cubed actually because I've been using that earlier. So we know my volume is 3,200. That's going to be equal to B cubed. I need to take the cubed to the other side. So I do the cube root of 3,200 is equal to B. Okay. So the cube root of 3,200 is 14.73. So since that's not more than 5 or more, it stays at 7. So 14.7. So then 14.7 centimeters is equal to B. Okay. And so that means then that in order to minimize it, we know that the base and the height are going to be equal. So 14.7 and is also equal to the height. So therefore, the dimensions, dimensions would be 14.7 centimeters by 14.7 centimeters by 14.7 centimeters, right? So whenever we're talking about dimensions, remember we're talking about the things that you would measure in order to be able to define your shape. So here we have a cube, right? So we have our dimensions are this side length times this side length times this side length. And they're all going to be the same because base is equal to height. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 14 by 14 by 14. The last question here just says, what other factors might you consider when designing a container other than heat loss? And there's lots of different factors. You might not want to have your thing designed in the shape of a cube, which means then that you wouldn't be minimizing the surface area. So you might want a different shape, like you might just want a regular rectangular prism, okay, with different dimensions. So even though the cube minimizes heat loss or cooling loss, right? It might not be something, if you think of a drinking box, they're never in the shape of a cube because they're really hard to handle, hold on to. So they're typically done in rectangular prisms. So that actually goes to sort of ergonomics, right? You may want a shape that's easier to hold. You also may want a shape that's more visually appealing, right? I want a shape that's more visually appealing. So visual appeal might be something, and maybe a box is not visually appealing. You may want a shape that can go easily on a shelf. So if you think of the supermarket shelves, maybe the box, you could fit more if you make them rectangular prisms, right? So you need to think about your shelf space. And what might be easier to put on a shelf. You may also want to think about what's going in it, right? You might want something that holds the food better. Okay, so even though we know a cube prevents heat loss, if you were trying to put a pizza in a cube, it would be ridiculous, right? So you may want something that holds the food better. So there's many reasons why you may not want to you may not choose necessarily one thing like minimizing the heat loss as the biggest contributor. But now you know, if you are trying to minimize for heat loss, what kind of shape is the best. So hope that helps, Nines.